What's up, Chipper Go here. Yeah, I was so busy last month. I didn't do a single book review of the books that I read, so I figured, well, we will just talk about them in my July wrap up. So here I am with my July wrap up. So I was so busy last month. I thought I was going to do only one book, but I ended up doing 4 books, which is amazing and great. Yeah, so I will start off with my least favorite, I think, of the book. My least favorite of the books, rather. So I did 4 books, like I said, which is like 1 book a week, which is like great, right? Like yay to crushing book goals. So the one that I didn't enjoy as much, and it feels so strange to even say this, is Unafraid by Francine Rivers. This is a Mary in the Bible, Jesus' mother, fiction adaptation. And so it's part of a series of so she does, I don't know what the name of the series is, but like she wrote fiction adaptations of all the females mentioned in Jesus' genealogy, right? So it's in a sense like a book series collection. This was the one story I never really got around to reading, the Mary one, and I read it and it just isn't, no. And it's hard for me to say this because I mean it's Mary, the mother of Jesus, but I don't know what it is, because the other ones I read some time back, and it was not recently, but the others I read, Bathsheba, Tamar, Rahab, Ruth. Those ones I enjoyed, but there was something about this one that just didn't do the things. It wasn't boring. It was not inaccurate. There was nothing, it just wasn't sticking, right? I really had to push myself through it. I really, really had to push myself through it. And it didn't stick with me. It didn't leave me wanting, because I feel like Christian fiction books should make you want to read what they're adapting from its original source, which is the Bible, right? But it just didn't. It didn't even make me want to even find out more about Jesus or Mary. It just didn't do it. So yeah, I just didn't like it. So that's that. So I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 with my ratings. Then these other 2 that I enjoyed were averagely good, which is What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey. And this one was actually pretty nice. It was nice. Could read it slowly, read one chapter today and another one tomorrow, because it's not necessarily like a memoir. And it felt like she was my auntie. Like she was sitting there giving me all these cool nuggets, which was great. I enjoyed it. It's really just thoughts and advice. I would say it's more like a book of advice from Oprah. What she thinks you should prioritize. And there's one particular one she actually says that books are very, very important. It's important to read books. And I was like, yes, Oprah, I agree with you. Then the other one, so I gave that one a 3 out of 5. So the next one was The Silent Patient by Alex. I'm not going to try to say his surname. I'll just put it somewhere there for people to read. It's a very famous thriller. People love it. People rave about it and all that stuff. I gave this a 3 out of 5 because it kept me gripped. I finished it in a day actually, and I haven't read such a fast-paced or gripping story in a long time, I guess, because I do read a lot of thinking. I guess like books that require my brain to function a lot. Thrillers have a way of just helping you escape, in a sense, from your world. But it's just problematic. I could do a whole review on it. There are things that so many things that just didn't make sense to me. And then I don't know, I was able to pinpoint, I think about 60%. I was like, okay, the twist in this book is probably going to be this guy. And I had my, I just didn't know what it would look like, but I was like, that was the twist, and I was right. So it was a bit anticlimactic for me. and they were just like, probably like, what business does this guy have to be a psychotherapist, psychotherapist? They was just like, no, guy, there's a lot of problems with this. Arrest these people. They're not right. But all in all, it's a story about a woman who murdered her husband, or is suspected to have murdered her husband because she's found in the pool of his blood. And she just doesn't say anything. She does not defend herself. She's just quiet the whole time. So the book sort of is trying to explore, did she really murder her husband? If she did, why? Because there was no, in a sense, indication to show that she would have murdered him. There's no motive. And if she didn't, why is she just quiet and not saying anything? And so this therapist sort of goes on a hunt to try and figure out how to try and make her talk. And it has a pretty good twist, honestly. If you're not an avid thriller reader, The Silent Patient is the one for you, honestly. I think you will enjoy it. You will be shocked at the twists, fairly, but it just, it was okay. It was okay for me. I think I've read more shocking and more like, oh my gosh, what did I read type of books. And then my favorite, the fourth and favorite, I love this book is Finding Me by Viola Davis. Oh my gosh, I loved this book. It was amazing. It's a memoir where she kind of tells us her life story and how she's made it out of poverty and where she is at. And people always say they came from poverty, and I read memoirs and I'm just like, you are not really poor. But I read this and I'm like, okay, you were poor. I don't know how else to explain it, but girl, you were broke. And she just made such a huge success out of herself and her career, and just how she navigated all of that, and how she has become the woman that she is now. A lot of abuse, obviously, that she's witnessed and seen, and just being in Hollywood, being at least an unconventional beauty, not necessarily one that, at least prior to her arrival and other people, just was not considered, what they would show on TV. But she's kind of, in a sense, broken all of that, and she talks about how to get away with murder just really did help her come into her own and find herself, in a sense, and that how that platform allowed us, the audience and the people, to see women as they are. That particular famous scene in How to Get Away with Murder, where she just gets off her wig and makeup and it just looks unpretty, and just being able, she sort of talks about how it's beautiful, it's who you are, it's who she is. And that should be celebrated. We don't always have to be put together and pretty and whatnot. It's a beautiful book, honestly, and you learn so much. You think about your life in a lot of different ways. I loved it. So those are my 4 books for July: The Silent Patient, What I Know for Sure, Finding Me, and Unafraid by Francine Rivers. I had some pretty good books this month, honestly. I can't lie. I don't have, apart from Unafraid, I can't really complain. I think all the other 3 really kept me invested and interested and curious, and I enjoyed and learned in the process. So that's my July wrap-up for 2022. Thanks for watching. Bye.